My first assignment for management of the enterprise, so I'm excited to share some things about myself as well as what my views on privacy is. So first off, my name is Jason. I am a fourth year student at Ontario Tech University. So I'm in the embedded bridge program, meaning I've done 2 years of college, which I graduated to the university program, giving me a diploma and a degree within 4 years. I am studying networking and IT security, which is not just an interest of mine in my studies, but a passion of mine in my life. I also share a passion for volleyball, which I have been playing since at a high level for many years. I was even a part of the Durham Lords men's varsity volleyball team. My goal for this course is to expand my knowledge on business concepts that will assist me once I've started my career and at the end of the semester. My future goals are eventually to become a cybersecurity professional, where I ideally work with people and educate them on the common themes that we see in attacks these days. To continue my assignment, I want to talk about what the word privacy means to me. When I am asked to define the word privacy, I have many, depending on which perspective I am taking. As a developer/administrator, I believe the perspective on privacy may differ from a client/user. When I'm an administrator at my current part-time job, along with my team, I have to ensure that the entirety of the infrastructure is resilient to attacks and ensure the privacy of company resources. This kind of privacy encompasses more than just what an individual's collection of personal information would be. Although neither can be weighted more important, the impact of losing privacy in some settings, such as an organization, can result in mass amounts of losses for shareholders. When I am analyzing privacy from my own individual perspective, it would likely just include standard efforts outlined by regulatory bodies to hosting and protecting my personal data. Privacy can also be defined as just a feeling, as in my opinion, one can never truly achieve true privacy. I do not make many precautions to taking care of my privacy online, as I'm very cautious about what I post in the first place. I believe that this is the biggest threat to others, is the fact that they are volunteering sensitive data online that is highly valuable for somebody with malicious intent. So for the next part of the assignment, I want to talk about an article that I found regarding a new piece of legislation proposed earlier in 2022. This article is from Dentons.com and is authored by Kirsten Thompson, who is a national lead in privacy and cybersecurity. The bill is C-27, and it's essentially a new draft of the old bill C-11, which was the Digital Charter Implementations Act. Bill C-27 is called an Act to Enact Consumer Privacy Protection Act, with the Personal Information and Data Protection Tribunal Act, and the Artificial Intelligence and Data Act, and to make consequential and related amendments to others acts. This essentially impacts how data is handled by private sectors and with new technologies that were recently introduced to ensure the protection of personal information. Some notable additions to this bill, other than most of Bill C-11 that was transferred to the new bill, are increased penalties for noncompliance, establishment and implementation of privacy management programs, failure to ensure equivalent protection for personal information transferred to a service provider, consent and breach notification obligations. All of these have huge impacts on how most organizations' infrastructures, as some who met the requirements for Bill C-11 may not meet the new requirements for Bill C-27. I believe overall the bill is a great step in the direction of increasing privacy for individuals who give personal data to data handlers. It will help the end user feel confident that their data is not being mishandled and will allow the use of these technologies to better our lives without threatening our individual privacy. The other part of the bill also adds a very important provision, which is the requirement in most cases to ask the end user for consent to collect and manipulate the data. This is essentially in the eyes of a consumer privacy as education will lead to more transparency. I believe this will increase user awareness for many of the personal information attacks that we see today, like phishing. I'm currently working for a company now based in Toronto as an IT intern. We create software for banks to use in dispute claims, putting us in a weird area of the business and technology world. The one thing that I would emphasize more was the security in the atmosphere. When I first started, the security procedures almost didn't exist, and our posture was very laxed. At the time, the IT department was made up of 2 people, plus me, to manage 70 remote internal employees, plus 200 plus virtual machines, as well as all cloud infrastructure. The one issue that bothered me was that we were working alongside of very smart individuals who just did not have any time to use their skills to increase our security posture. This was a huge undertaking and made me realize it is not about how knowledgeable you are, but how much time you have. After all, we are all humans. Ever since we got acquired and received more resources, as well as team members, we have been flourishing and working with the newest security standards, plus many more. We have recently implemented an EDR system called CrowdStrike, which is top-notch EDR technology that we see in many businesses today. I would give the current security posture of the company I work at an A-. This is because although we have been moving and putting in many pieces of security modules and increasing user awareness, we still have many more projects ahead of us. I also believe that most of the individuals who worked at Lean are educated in common threats like phishing, due to the nature of our industry. There are still some outliers, but it's not too much of a concern once we get all of our projects through in our security procedures. I would say the best way for our company to increase our security is to include new authentication systems that don't just rely on one single password. This is a common theme that can allow multiple points of access on a network if one password is breached. This is not secure by any means, especially if it's an internet connected system. A technology that is being developed like zero trust is something that I would recommend implementing. There's also a new technology called FIDO. This adopts the zero trust system and removes the need for just one password.